Hey everyone! If you've been waiting for 001 news about stimulus checks, I have some 003 breaking information that could change 005 everything for millions of Americans. 007, and I mean immediately, not months from 009 now, not after endless political 011 debates, but as soon as certain 013 conditions are met. I'm talking about 015 emergency relief payments that could go 018 out within days if specific economic 020 triggers are hit. I spent hours reading 023 through the latest congressional reports 025 and economic proposals so you don't have 027 too. And what I found will surprise you. 030 Some of you watching this could see 032 money in your accounts faster than you 034 think. But here's the thing. It's not 036 guaranteed for everyone, and there are 039 specific groups who would get priority. 042 Stay with me because I'm going to break 043 down exactly who qualifies, what needs 045 to happen, and most importantly, what 047 you need to do right now to make sure 049 you're ready. Before we dive in, for 051 those who are new here, I'm someone 052 who's been covering financial relief 054 programs for families like ours for 056 years. That's why I do this 115 work, and that's why I'm here today with 118 information you won't find simplified 120 anywhere else. So, here's what's 122 actually on the table. According to the 125 I read every boring government 059 document, every economic report, every 102 congressional proposal, so you don't 104 have to wade through hundreds of pages 106 of policy jargon. I get it because I've 109 been there, checking my bank account 111 multiple times a day, wondering when 113 help might come. Economic Recovery Preparedness Act 127 that's been quietly making its way 129 through committee hearings. There's a 131 provision for automatic stabilizer 133 payments, essentially stimulus checks. 136 that would trigger immediately when 138 specific economic conditions are met. 140 the goal isn't just to provide relief 142 after a crisis hits, but to prevent 144 families from falling into deeper 146 financial holes while we're already 148 struggling. Think of it as economic 151 insurance that kicks in automatically. 153 the proposed amounts are significant. 156 $1, $200 for individuals, $2,400 for 2 o'clock married couples, and $600 per dependent 203 child. But here's where it gets 205 interesting. Certain vulnerable groups 207 would receive enhanced payments of up to $209 $1,800 per person. Now, I know what 212 you're thinking. We've heard promises 214 before, but this is different because 217 it's designed to be automatic. Number 219 waiting for Congress to debate for 221 months. No political back and forth. If 224 the economic triggers are hit, the money 227 goes out within 72 hours. Let me be 230 really clear about who would be 231 prioritized because this matters. The 234 legislation specifically calls out 236 several groups for immediate processing. 238 single mothers and fathers. If you're 240 raising kids on your own, you're at the 242 front of the line. The report 244 acknowledges that single-parent 245 households have been hit hardest by 247 economic instability, with many still 249 struggling to recover from previous 251 economic downturns. Veterans and 253 military families. There's specific 255 language about ensuring our service 257 members and veterans receive expedited 259 processing. If you've served our 301 country, this legislation recognizes you 304 shouldn't have to wait. People with 306 disabilities. The 234 legislation specifically calls out 236 several groups for immediate processing. 238 single mothers and fathers. If you're 240 raising kids on your own, you're at the 242 front of the line. The report 244 acknowledges that single-parent 245 households have been hit hardest by 247 economic instability, with many still 249 struggling to recover from previous 251 economic downturns. veterans and 253 military families. There's specific 255 language about ensuring our Service 257 members and veterans receive expedited 259 processing. If you've served our 301 country, this legislation recognizes you 304 shouldn't have to wait. People with 306 disabilities number 540 presidential signature required. It's 542 automatic. Here's some genuinely good 545 news that I think will surprise you. The 548 infrastructure for getting these 549 payments out quickly already exists, and 552 has been significantly improved since 554, the last round of stimulus payments. The 548 infrastructure for getting these 549 payments out quickly already exists, and 552 has been significantly improved since 554, the last round of stimulus payments. If you filed 608 taxes in 2023 or 2024, your information 611 is current and ready. Even better, the 614 legislation includes provisions for 616 people who don't normally file taxes. If 619 you receive Social Security, SSI, 621 veterans benefits, or other federal 624 benefits, you'd automatically be 625 included without having to do anything 627 extra. For those who had problems with 630 previous payments, maybe you moved, 632 changed banks, or had other issues, 634 there's a new simplified update system. 637 you'd be able to update your information 639 online within minutes, not weeks. The 642 report also mentions partnerships with 644 community organizations, credit unions, 646 and local banks to help people who don't. 648 have traditional bank accounts. Is 651 means even if you've been excluded from 653 previous programs, there are more ways 656 to receive payments this time. Now, I 658 need to be honest with you about the 7 o'clock challenges because I'm not here to give 703 you false hope. While this legislation 706 has bipartisan support in committee, 708, which is rare these days, it still needs 710 to pass both houses of Congress. 714 the good news is that it's being framed 716 as economic preparedness rather than 718 partisan relief spending. 811 the current proposal suggests setting 813 aside $400 billion for these automatic 816 payments, which sounds like a lot, but 819 would only fund about 3 rounds of 821 full payments. 822 so, what can you actually do right now 825 while we wait for this to potentially 827 become reality? I have some practical 829 advice that will help you regardless of 831 whether these payments ever materialize. 834 first, make sure your information is 836 current with the IRS. If you moved, 839 changed banks, got married, had kids, or 843 had any major life changes, file your 845 2024 taxes as soon as possible when tax 849 season opens. This ensures you're in the 851 system with current information. Second, 854 if you don't have a bank account. Now is 856 the time to open one. I know banking 859 fees can be frustrating, but many credit 901 unions and community banks offer free 903 checking accounts. Having direct deposit 906 capabilities could mean getting payments 908 weeks faster than waiting for paper 910 checks. Third, keep documentation of 913 your current situation. If you're 915 unemployed, receiving disability 917 benefits, caring for dependent, or 919 dealing with financial hardship, keep 921 records. While these automatic payments 924 are designed to be simple, having 926 documentation never hurts. Fourth, stay 930 informed about your state's economic 932 conditions. 1030 the fact that this legislation is being 1032 designed as automatic economic 1034 stabilizers rather than emergency 1036 political responses tells me that 1038 lessons have been learned from previous 1040 crises. The goal is to help families 1043 before they fall into deeper financial 1044 holes, not after. Whether or not these 1048 specific payments materialize, The 1050 conversation about automatic relief 1052 during economic downturns is gaining 1054 momentum. 1055 that's progress. Even if it's slower 1057 than we'd like. If this information was 11 o'clock helpful, please subscribe to stay 1102 updated on developments with this 1103 legislation. 1105 I'll be following the committee hearings 1107 and will update you as soon as there's 1109 news about timeline or changes to the 1111 proposal. 1112 also. Check out my other recent videos 1114 about financial assistance programs that 1116 are available right now. I've covered 1119 everything from utility assistance to 1121 food programs to housing help that you 1123 might be eligible for while we wait for 1125 broader relief. And please share this 1128 with anyone who might benefit from this 1129 information. The more people who know 1132 about these potential programs and stay 1134 prepared, the better we all do when 1136 relief becomes available. Drop a comment 1138 below if you have questions about 1140 anything I covered today. I read every 1143 comment and often turn your questions 1145 into future videos. Thanks for watching 1147 and I'll see you in the next one with 1149 more information you need to know about 1151 financial relief and resources for 1153 families like ours.